Network.
Welcome to the Life Happens podcast. I am your host, Rob. Am I Robbie today and Grace? Oh, I'm Robbie today. As you guys know, the Life Happens podcast is a podcast where we take our practical everyday lives with our spirituality and we combine it to create this beautiful balance. Before we get into our topic, which is 21 questions, how to vet your future mate, I want to say welcome to Kimberly Drake because we haven't seen you in 2 years, sis.
I've been busy. I'm trying to get this phone to work for me.
Okay. Can you put your phone up so we can see your beautiful face? Because you where you at, sis? Where you at? We can't see you. Better. Hi, Will. So, guys. Oh, where is Kim? What happened to Kim? Anyway.
I'm trying to prop this phone up. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, we are glad that you're back, girl. You were gone forever. Where have you been? What's up?
Oh, well, it's just been busy. I've been in Nashville, Tennessee. My son had surgery, so I had to go there and be with him. And then, Passover came up, so I was gone for Passover.
Right.
Working and celebrating. So, yeah, just been a busy time.
So basically, you've been neglecting us, but I understand this.
I need to share this.
And then y'all, she don't even freaking text in the week. When you text us like she don't respond.
I know.
Oh
right.
Wow.
Yeah, guess who texted me the other day?
Who?
Eloy Martinez.
Eloy. Oh.
It was so good. I actually called him back and talked to him we talked for about an hour. It was so good to talk to him.
That's like from you went back. He was from Chenault, right?
I know, yeah.
Oh wow. I knew he was sick and then he recovered, right?
Yes, he was sick and he recovered. And he has a really great testimony on how the Lord had healed him. And he shared his testimony with his church.
Oh, cool.
And so he was telling me all of that. And it was just great to reconnect,
Yeah. We need to have like a reunion or something.
No, but it was really great to.
We do, but we just can't have Sarah Martinez. What's her middle name? Let's put a whole government name. Anyway. Because y'all, this girl, we were friends from 2000 and she blocked me. And I don't know why. I feel ghosted. Like I was in a whole... Anyway, let's not talk about it. Anyway, guys. Felicia, how are you, honey?
I'm doing well over here.
Okay. Tonya?
I'm doing good, but I'm trying to share this and you haven't shared it, so I can't share it. And I was going to make an account.
I did share it, didn't I? I thought I did.
Okay,
when I get the YouTube one, I'll share that. I haven't got it yet.
Okay.
And then, y'all, we have the wonderful B. Jones that is gracing us with his presence, and he hasn't been on for a long time. Where have you been, Brian? I know you're not frozen, liar. Where have you been?
I was frozen.
Pulling some of my stuff.
Yeah, that's what Kim does. I know you're not frozen. Where have you been, B. Jones? You just you don't come on anymore. Every time I ask him, guys, he tells me no.
I've been everywhere, nowhere at the same time.
He's always saying no to me. He doesn't say yes no more. He says, I may come on. I'm not sure. I'll let you know. That's what he says.
You're a busy man.
That's a good answer.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, I need to know exactly. But you know,
are you one of those people who, when you hear the word no, you stick out your bottom lip and get a potty mouth?
but I will say, I need you to be on consistently, and you say no. You
on consistently or on consistently?
Anyway, guys. No, this is the same man that sends me messages mocking my accent. I'm just saying.
I'm a real Zulu. You're not. My accent's better. Thanks.
You got an accent?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead and do the accents.
No,
Do it.
no.
No, he talks like me, but he tries to talk like me, but he's not successful at all. But anyway, guys, 21 questions. Yo, we came up with the topic from Tonya. I didn't even know that 50 Cent had a song called 21 Questions because I was going to label the show vetting and dating because I didn't know what to do. And then Tonya was like, 21 questions. I'm like, 21 questions? What's that? She's like, that's 50 Cent's song.
Did you listen to it?
Nah, girl.
Yes, I listened to it.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, those are all the wrong questions, but hey, questions are questions. Oh, look, in the video, when we watched that video, I was like, wow, I need to grow up because I asked like the way opposite questions. Like my questions that I ask are like way not the same as what they were talking about.
Yeah, I thought that the questions were deep because a lot of times we'll ask somebody, what's your favorite color? Who gives a shit what's your favorite color? You know what I'm saying? That what does it really matter in the scheme of things?
I just think they were kind of deep for a first date question. I mean, they were really deep, you know?
Yeah, but I don't think that's a first date. I would
Yeah.
be on the first date. I think you'd have to be seeing the person and maybe you kind of interested in that.
Yeah.
I want to play the video, you guys, because I think we need to jump into this.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think he had some valid points, especially when he talks about loyalty and discipline. When he said, how are you going to discipline the D? But that goes for women as well. Because anyway, let me play the video. I have thought. Let me not say that word. No, Brian, don't do me. I have.
You have thoughts?
Bye.
Days in, I was planning my futures with this man. I really like him, and my best friend stopped me and said, you don't like him, you like what you know about him. Don't know him well enough to like him. To say that you love something, you have to know it. Right. You can't love the unknown, you love the surface.
That's something I give to a lot of female counseling clients. We talk about their vetting process and the necessary questions that need to be asked. One of the ones I always suggest, what are you doing to control your D? Single, you do what you want, but once we're in a relationship, you need the capacity for loyalty. A woman could want a man to be loyal. What does his regiment look like to establish and to maintain that? These are some of the necessary questions you would suggest them asking a man that they're first getting to know.
Okay, so this guy I didn't vet properly because I slept with him as soon as I met him. How has your childhood affected the way that you love? What healthy representations of love have you witnessed? How did your last serious breakup affect your viewpoint on trust and getting into serious relationships?
First conversation is a conversation with the soul. Why are you here? What did you come here to teach me? What lessons will you drop off? What messages will be hidden underneath your pain? But what type of mirror are you going to hold up to me? How are you going to help me see myself?
You still are vetting.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, when they get to the point where sex is already had, the effort we put into continuing to learn somebody to see if they match with our heart. Even if you're somebody that's going to sleep with a potential mate the first night, the vetting, these questions still need to continue to be. Just because we have sex don't mean that need to stop. So the vetting still has to happen on a heart level.
Okay, guys. So before we jump into the video, I want to ask Felicia.
Me?
Yes. Because I want to ask you. When you first met your husband, like what was your vetting questions? Or even now that you're married, right? What would you do differently? What would you ask now? Would you do anything different?
Probably not. But me and my husband would talk for hours when I first met him. So it was a lot of questions. It was like a lot of being around him, like a lot. Like when we first met, we were around each other a lot, but we both didn't have jobs at the time. We were in school. So that's a different, setting. So yeah, I did ask a lot of questions. And differently, no, because I think sometimes you can be too deep for your own good. I'm not the same person I was 20 years ago. Like there's questions that I'll ask him today, and there's things about him that I'm learning today. And we've been married for 25 years. It's not that these things were a secret, but you're constantly learning. I don't think the vetting questions ever stop. I think it gets to a point to where you know enough, but you're never going to know everything about a person. And that's what I learned being married. I'm never going to know everything. And the person my husband is today, he wasn't 20 years ago. So the questions continue, like, what do you think about this? I mean, new things come up. I mean, I don't think there is a right or a wrong way. I think there is a space where you do not ask enough questions.
Mm-hmm. Because like they were saying in the video, you say you like this person and you got all these excitement about this person, but you really don't know the person, really. You don't.
And I don't think I like the questions. They did have some good questions. They're really deep questions, but I was one of those persons that like to see, because you can ask those questions and people can have all the right answers, but until you see them in action, it's just talk. You know what I mean? So
right. Yeah, you have to see people in everyday, real day things. Like when somebody backs into your garage, how do you respond? You panic.
Yeah, how does he act when he's upset? What is a trigger? What are his triggers? Those are things you find out, over time. How does he act when he's mad? How does he act in conflict?
Yeah, because you can ask a person and they can tell you what they think, you want to hear. Because sometimes I think, for me, I will say, I know what I want to do, right? But then as I'm going through a particular situation, I may not do what I want to do, and your true nature comes out when there's trauma involved, when when your senses are heightened. Like
I truly believe that that you give allowances to people that you really like. Like there's certain allowances that I gave him that I didn't give other people. It was like it's a no-go for me with you, but with him it was like, well, okay, I can deal with it. So I just think, it varies.
Yeah. What about you, Brian? What are some of the things that you did? Like when you met your person, what were those questions? What did you ask? What was important to you?
I ask questions that like you have to show me what you've been practicing, right? So I'll ask something like, besides naming a human being or a pet, what do you do that makes you happy? Right? So they immediately hesitate because most people are going to name family, friends, children, pets. I like to teach in my class. Well, that's with kids, you name it. So I like to see their level of self-love or lack thereof, of which I don't judge them for either way. And anything as far as like deeper questions, I reserve that for, the organic part of conversation, right? One of the questions that was asked on there, and I don't know if she meant that to ask that on a first date
Okay, the second girl or the first? Because the second girl,
the second girl was like,
okay.
we're talking soul. So what are you here for? I'm here because I asked you out on a date. We've been talking on the phone, obviously. So, and we're continuing to talk. So I've probably told you that I'm interested. Let's go out on a date. Let's have some fun. And this whole deep level of vetting and, oh my God, I've got to see what happened to you in the second grade type stuff. Look, they're not wrong. Okay. I'm just saying those things need to come organically. Now, if I was sitting across from a female who started asking questions like that, would I be annoyed? No, I would still answer them. However, you only allow your annoyance to go so far according to if you're interested in the person, whether it be like naturally interested in who they are or lustfully interested in who they are. Because if you're sitting across from somebody asking you one of those questions and you're not interested, you just went on the date just to go to the date, you kind of think they're cute, but they could do this and do that. They're like more in the meh category. You're not going to want to answer those questions. You're probably going to want to talk about what you want to talk about, unless you're just a, super kind-hearted person that just wants to, have a good night out. So you're going to get annoyed according to your initial interest level or lustful level to them. But I just try to ask questions that get me into like who they are as a person. What's their healed process? What's their self-love looking like? I rarely try to get into, hey, the healthy relationships that you saw in the fourth grade. what were they like? And I understand those questions have their timing, and they could be on the first date. But if we're on a first date, I've probably already asked you some questions like that prior to, right? We didn't just talk for 5 minutes and then say, hey, let's go out on a date tomorrow. Yes, does that happen? It does. But I've probably talked to you more than once on the phone. We've had a good conversation, and I try to talk on the phone as I do like before you met me or before we go on a date. This is who I am right now. This is who I talk on the phone, and this is who you will see. I don't like avatars, and I don't like portraying one. So, it's not wrong to ask questions, but they're just according to who you are, your interest level, there is a timing and organic flow factor.
Yeah, I think I like everything you're saying. The second woman in the video, if it was me, I'd be irritated because that level of questioning, and we would not be a match. I'm just saying.
Yeah. If she said, hey, B. Jones, your soul is here and mine is too. What are we doing here? And I'd be like, what do you mean? What are we I'd probably start laughing on the cool. That's like some people don't want to talk about anything intimate on the first date, right? You don't want to ask questions, oh, Tonya, like I see you had a certain type of facial feature and your lips are certain ways. Do you do things sexually that, that you don't, that some things are just totally inappropriate, but
yeah,
to each their own.
She's probably going through a dry spell asking those types of questions. Because
she was just on a podcast and wanted to sound deep. That's all.
That's exactly like that. It's just you want it to be deep and you want it to be relevant for some. I think anyway. So Tonya, what do you ask? Do you even ask any questions? Do you, and what in particular?
So, me, I can hold a conversation. So before I even get to that first date, we've been on the phone for at least 5 to 10 hours total. I mean, I've even had some because I'm actively dating right now. I've had some people have kept me on the phone all night, and it's kind of, we get those conversations. For me, I'm going to tell them exactly what I am. I'm telling them exactly who I am, what I am. Y'all, I'm very transparent. Like, hey, this is what's going on. This is how I am. There's nothing wrong. It's just, hey, I just need you to know that, this is me. But for me, what I do is I kind of I kind of throw in those questions while we're talking. Like, okay, one of my biggest questions, of course, you're going to say me, those were really deep. Like that girl, the moment she said, what do you bring to me? I'm like, whoa,
right.
I met you. Like nothing, but for me, I'm more of like, do you want more kids? If you have little kids, are you looking for a stepmom? Because no, and my biggest question, and what I always make sure I get out of anybody before I even agree, what happened in your last relationship and how long has it been? Because for me, that's big. Because okay, well, what happened? And and people freely tell them what happened in their last relationship. Like, why didn't it last? Like, oh, okay, and I give my opinion as a female, if because you start having that conversation, because I'm going to tell you exactly what happened to mine and my accountability in that. I need to see if you are. So, and the only reason I ask is because I want to see how accountable you are.
Right.
Because if you can be accountable in what happened in the demise of your last relationship, hey, at least you're honest. Like, because but when a person's like, oh, it was this, it was her, she did that.
Right.
Well, what did you do? Because you did something. So I think that right there, that's my biggest, that's the only thing I want to know. Hey, do you want more kids? And then if that, all that other stuff, all that deep stuff, that'll come. And for me, it comes within conversation. So, okay, we went to our first date. Like, okay, are we going to do a second one? And then we're talking on the phone. And in all honesty, in my last relationship, before he opened up and told me the stuff that he went through as a child, which, we had already been together for over a year, but he, even that first year we were together, we lived together. He wasn't ready to open up to me like that until we were in there. And then he finally did. And when he did, it explained a lot, but it took him a year to get comfortable with me like that. And now we know we're together. Right. So I don't think that like those deep conversations need to happen off top, because if it's, you definitely don't want to have you tell somebody your deep soul secrets and you don't talk to him next week because, right, we're not locked in. But once you finally do get locked in with somebody, yeah, those type of questions, those conversations need to be had. But to start off, I just want to know, hey, what happened in your relationship? How's your family life? What do you like to do? I ask a lot of like goal oriented questions. Like, okay, well, what are you working on? What are you working towards? Do you have goals? Stuff like that. And then, and to me, the moment it gets sexual, that's it. I'm done. It's like, oh.
But see, that's the thing though. That's a trap, because you shouldn't stop. Like the way I heard this in this video, you shouldn't stop asking those questions, even if it gets sexual. But I think sometimes we move too quickly in that. And because once, especially for a woman, we get attached. So once sex starts happening, you start saying, well, I can deal with that. It's okay if he's a little moody. Oh, it's okay. No.
Okay. Now, to say that, like, for me, and so sex is very important, very, very important. And to say that I've never, first time hanging happens, but that means I have really liked the person. I think the questions definitely don't stop at that point. That's when you start like, okay, hey, now this happened. Like, what are you, like, what are you thinking? Like, tell me exactly how you feel. Tell me what to expect, because if I know, okay, it happened, whatever, but let me know what's going to happen next, or just like, let me know what your train of thought is on where you see this relationship going. Do you see it being a relationship, or, they're like, hey, we just cool. We can have fun. We can do what we want to do. And then that's it. But I don't think we could be together because I want kids and you don't, or, things like that. So I don't think it's a bad thing to have sex,
the first time.
Not first time, but quickly. I mean, first time, it happens, okay? But I say quickly because also, too, you don't want to get 3 months into really liking somebody and then it's horrible. And you're like, now you got to go ghost on them and they can't understand why you don't want to talk to them. And now you're mean to them.
Dang, you want to work on it, Tonya? You don't want to ask him to, hey, let's work on it a little bit. Tonya Tonya go,
like, sex itself says a lot about a person. If they're naturally aggressive, if they're caring, if they're worried about your needs. I mean, it answers a lot of other questions about it. Like, how do you act when I say no? Or, right. How do you act when I'm tired or I got a headache? So that does answer a lot of questions about a person. A lot of questions.
Yeah, and it will
show
you
bad. It can be worked on. If it's bad, that's
Tonya.
to get worked on to where it can't get good. You really don't know that person and they don't know you. Right. But my take on this is that, because I'm married, so I'm dating William. I've been dating him for 5 years. But I believe that time is one of our most valuable commodities. And so I think vetting is good. I think any question is okay. I even think the chick that went deep, I think that's okay, because time is so important. And so often you waste time, 6 months on a person, 3 months on a person, because you didn't want to ask the question may be too deep for them for the second date, or it may be too deep for the third date. No, go ahead and ask it. If it's in your heart to ask. Don't wait. Don't wait to find out. Don't wait 6 months or 3 months. And it's like, oh, I didn't know you felt that way. Well, you never asked, because that's the question. You never asked me, right? That's what they say. Well, you never asked, so I didn't think I needed to tell you. And then it's like, oh, well, dang it, I just wasted 3 months of my life, 6 months of my life, a year of my life.
But Kim, I agree with you to a point. But that second chick, I'm sorry, sis. That was okay. Not the first time. Not the first time. Now, the first date. I'm not gonna ask you. Who sent you? Did the devil send you, or did Jesus send you?
You're
I
the
mean, 'cause
best.
that's where she was going to a point. Like, why are you here?
Yeah, what are you gonna teach
No,
me?
I don't know why are you here.
Yeah, well, hold on, Robbie. I don't. That Tanya mentioned the big one. There's two things in that interview that really tripped me out. When she said, "What are you going to teach me?"
Right.
That is one of the most. That's almost like a setup question. Like
Yeah.
she has a preconceived notion of what she wants you to say, and if you don't ring that doorbell correctly, she's going to judge you right after that, because that is such a broad question. And really, let's be honest, the only time most people are open to being taught something is if they're interested in the person or they lust after the person that is talking. So, like, case in point, a lot of people, and I don't know Kevin Gates as a human being. I just know he doesn't treat women very well, right? But since he's popular and a lot of women lust after him, he will go and find a quote, post it on Instagram, and now everybody's like, "Oh, Kevin Gates is so right, so right, so right." But guarantee you, if there's a good man on their Facebook and post the same thing, they won't give a damn about what that dude is saying. They're gonna fly right by it, not like it, not comment on it, because a lot of times we put too much value in who is saying it rather than what's being said. So I can't teach her. If I say, well, what am I going to say? Well, I could teach you about this or that, this or that. I don't know what I can teach you. I don't know where that question is coming from, what you're pointing at. All I know is you got a preconceived notion in your head, and that is not a good question to ask on like a first date. That is something that you need to find out about somebody. That I got annoyed when she was like, "What can you teach me?" Like,
Yeah,
what are you willing to learn?
Any is a good question. What can you teach me? Well, hell, Brian, maybe you can teach me about how to get healthier. I don't know.
No,
Maybe
but
you
not
can
the
teach me
first
how to
date.
do so many reps
No,
or
not the first
whatever.
I mean,
It's a horrible question up front. I mean, up
yeah,
front, it's a horrible question, because if somebody asks me, Felicia, what can you teach me? I can teach you how I love. I can teach you what I know, what I can do. That's all I can teach you. Because at this point, I don't know what you don't know.
Right, but she wasn't talking about that. She was talking about soulish things from a soulish level. She wasn't talking about, can you teach me how to freaking back into how do I fix my garage door when I backed into it? It wasn't shit like that. It was like on a soulish level. You don't even know if this person's a devil worshiper or Satanist. Right. You don't even know what their religion is. You don't even know if you'll mesh up. Hell, I'm a deliverance worker. I can't go on a date with a Satanist. What the fuck does that look like? That can mean hello. So what can you teach me?
No, that is a setup question where you have a preconceived notion of what I want you to say, because so that pinpoints to the very beginning of their podcast, or the part that that we watch. So they were talking about getting with people early, and you can't do this and you can't do that on the first at first sight, or you can't love a person that you don't know. That I agree with that, but what most people do, most people look at someone with interest of physical lust, right? That's what draws you to a person first. 9.9 times out of 10 is the physical attraction. Boom. But then what you start doing is you start envisioning what they are, who they are, how they act according to what you like in your life experiences. It's kind of like, so every woman on here has been called beautiful by a man who has never, ever, ever interacted with them before. Beauty has something to do within who you are, right? Tonya, if you post a picture, there's probably dudes who go, "Hey, beautiful, are you so beautiful?" They don't know if you're beautiful or not. They don't know if you get aggravated too fast. They don't know if you have traumas that you haven't dealt with. They don't know a lot of stuff about you, but they are envisioning what women should be according to them. Oh, well, I hope she like this. Man, she look like she like this. Man, she look cool. She look this. She look like that. You don't know any of that. So what happens is people put crazy expectations, and they answer questions according to the expectations that they have in their head on somebody that they have no clue who they are. right? And that's where you get the avatar. That's where you get being upset when they don't answer a question right. And that's where you get, you put somebody up on a balloon. And if they don't like oranges, because you like oranges, now you don't like oranges. Oranges are the best. And that's when you get frustrated with them. It is crazy because people do it all the time. And to sleep with somebody early on without asking any of these questions totally goes with the lust factor, and it goes with the expectation factor that you put on them that they have no chance of fulfilling, because your imagination, people can't beat your imagination. Once you think of something, I don't know it. I can't prejudge it. I can't predict your thoughts. So once you throw your imagination out there and you put me on some level that I can't achieve, well, then you put me on the 8 ball. You put me behind the 8 ball, because as soon as I don't come up to what you think I should be or what you've envisioned in your own head, then I'm lost and you don't like me anymore.
Yep. Okay, so I want to say this.
Happens all the time.
All the time.
I need to read some comments and then we'll move on. Keisha says, vetting is a waste of time at our age. Damn that. Let me see what you're working with. Go bye.
I mean,
and okay, Kevin Gates, isn't he the guy that talks about drinking a woman's pee? Was that
that's R. Kelly.
I don't know.
Because one time
one of them do.
He drank some woman's pee. I thought he was freaking disgusting.
He's the one that eats booty.
Oh. No, I didn't know.
He's the one that started that.
So I want to say this. What's important to me, what's a non-negotiable, is mental health and how they view mental health and how they take care of their mental health. One of the most off-putting things is when a man tells me that he talks to a higher power only. That's all he does. He only talks to Jesus. I will never see you again, because that is not balanced. I'm sorry. You can talk to Jesus and you can go to therapy, sir. Because what's going to happen, you're going to be so super spiritual high up here that you're going to be emotionally unavailable. That's what happens when you do that. There's no balance. And so I've met lovely men in ministry telling me this bullshit, okay? And I will never see you again, because I know healing is layer by layer by layer, right? One day you get it right. The next day you're like Humpty Dumpty. You don't even know why you're anxious. And so that's why I ask those questions. And I know this sounds crazy, but I like them to take the test.
The love languages test?
Well, that's who I ask them. That's important too. But there's a book called Attached, right? And when you take the test, you see how you attach. Yeah. So I need to know, because I've taken this test several times, I read the book several times, I can tell what attachment style a person has.
Yeah.
What is it called?
It's called Attached. I've got the book on the table.
I love that book, but I want to see what they, where they are. So I know how I need to move. Because if you anxiously attached, baby, that is a space where you have to learn to sit in uncomfortable spaces, right? Because anxiety will make you overreach because your mind will be playing tricks on you. I mean, it just does. So to me, mental health is important. Health is important. And so that's a non-negotiable for me. I like to hear someone say, I go to therapy and I talk to Jesus. To me, that's absolute balance. Because if you just doing one and not the other, even if they tell me I only go to therapy, that's still a problem for me. Because I've been on the side where I was super, super spiritual. And then I would feel so empowered, and it was my emotions, right? But then I didn't understand the why I was moving like I was moving. But once I understood that and combined the two, sparks in my mind. I mean, let me do this. Hi. So that's important to me. Another thing that man said on the video, guys, he said, how do you control your penis? How are you able to stay loyal?
Yeah.
That's a very valid question, because even if you are in a relationship, you may have a job, or maybe you don't. Maybe you will form a reformed hoe. How do you control your penis?
That's a good one. I'm gonna start asking that.
Yeah, how are you doing that?
But you know what? Those type of questions, I don't like. Once again, none of those questions were wrong. I really didn't like the soul deep one. Jesus. What are our souls here to do? I'm hungry.
What do you expect to get from that?
You okay with a girl asking a guy?
Yeah.
you control
what answer do you expect? What is a good answer? I know there's no right or wrong answer, but if you ask a person how do they control their penis, what do you expect to hear? They're
There's an
going to tell
avatar.
you what you want to hear.
Exactly.
That's true.
Exactly.
That's
all
true.
questions.
There's no guy that's gonna say, you know what, I don't control my penis. And I'm sorry. There
Hold
are
on.
guys who will say that. Let me rephrase that. But most men, if they are interested in you and they don't want to do anything to disconnect the interest. So if they're just using you or trying to get your draws, then they're not gonna say, well, you know what, I'm really just trying to get your draws. I'm not controlling my penis. I got 4 chicks on the side. And I'm just here trying to impress you with my bread. Hopefully I can get some after this. They're not going to say that. They're going, but they may say something to the effect that can get you more interested in their ultimate game plan of trying to get your draws, right? So if my deal with you was just to get physical with you, I'm going to say something that you want to hear, unless I'm being 100% genuine. You know what I'm saying? And the only way you're going to find that out is, I mean, but look, before I even talk to a female, I do research. You know what I'm saying? Like women are the ultimate researchers. Y'all aren't just gonna like go on a blind date most of the time. If y'all have a dude that's talking to you, odds are they've reached to you through social media, and you're gonna go through their social media, right? So if a guy says he can control his penis, but on every post that he makes and posts that he makes on other people's comments, he's talking sexually with females that he may or may not know. He's doing things that are directing his actions towards being promiscuous. Well, if whatever he tells you about controlling his penis is a lie, unless he's gonna tell you the truth. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if it was Kim or Felicia, but one of y'all said, look, we can talk all day, but I'm waiting to see your actions, you know? And that's what it's all about. You can put whatever they say in your mental Rolodex, and when it's time for that thing to come out, right? Like if a man says he controls his penis in XYZ amount of way, and then all of a sudden, let's say it's on the 3rd or 4th date, y'all are kissing, getting passionate, and like Felicia says, you say no, not tonight. And then all of a sudden he starts pushing or starts, disrespecting you or trying to make you feel bad for not giving it up or going, girl, we done seen each other 4 times already. I mean, come on. How long is it? If he starts doing that, well, then he can't control his penis. You know what I'm saying? He can't respect what your words of no. And all his words go straight out the door. Right. So it's you can lock it into your mental Rolodex, but when it's time for action, that's when it's on.
Oh yeah.
You know, and that's so true though. But I'm gonna say this though: the most attractive thing in a man is if he has a high self-awareness and knows what to do with it. Because there's most of us walking around that have zero self-awareness and are absolute assholes. But they'll say, "Oh, it's just the way I am." Oh, really? Really? That's just the way you are. But I hear that all the time. Or they'll say, well, I know I'm an angry person, but you don't do shit with that anger. You don't control yourself.
True. You know, one of the biggest attractive attributes of a woman these days is reciprocation. There is so much of a me, selfish, do for me. Oh, well, you did for me 10 times. I'll do for you this one small time just to show you I care. And now you do for me 10 times. It's I don't know what y'all think about the word soft, but the way it's coming across from what I'm seeing, what I'm reading is you allow me to just be a woman, and you do for me all day long. My money is my money. Your money is my money. You do for me. You do for me. You do for me. You let me go get pampered. You pamper me, really. And I want to go do this. And when I say I want to do this, you let me. It's all about a me. Reciprocation is one of the most attractive traits in a woman, right? And for anybody who, I don't want to start no whole 50-50 or men pay all the this and that conversation. I'm just saying reciprocation. If your man or if the guy that you're dating does something for you and then you backdoor it and do something for him because of just, hey, a quick thank you, that is building a friendship on top of an attraction, right? because there are a lot of women who want to get paid to be in relationships these days. They want to get paid to go out and date. You were dating yourself fine, and all of a sudden you meet a guy, and all of a sudden he's supposed to just do everything for you.
What do you mean going?
I'm gonna tell you. I will say this: that right there too is messing it up so bad for the women who aren't like that.
Right, it is.
It's like, man, like so. But then you got the guys that. So now, especially in today, men. That's how they. It's out there. They know that that's what females are looking for. So now they want to chill at the house. They want to come over. No, I don't know you. So at this point, it's like, okay, you know what? Here, I got it. Let's go. And so you have to. And it kind of like it's. To me, like, I feel from how I was raised that like that's not even a discussion we're supposed to have. Like, if I say, hey, let's go here, I invited you, which means I'm going to take care of that. Or if you tell me, hey, you want to go have something to eat? Sure. That means you're going to take care of it. I'm going to take care of the tip. You take care of the bill. But nowadays, like, guys ain't even trying to hear that no more because women are messing it up so bad. And so it's like, okay, well, you go. But it is getting hard though, because now guys, they just want to come and chill. Let's go to the house. So I, like, me personally, now I'm like, okay, well, now it's starting to be nice. I said, let's meet at the park then, let's go for a walk.
Let's go. Like, okay. And hopefully he's not that old or he's not that large that he can't go hiking.
Dang, why are you trying to talk about fat people?
My fat people. Let me say this, okay? I am 37 plus 10, okay? Okay. And I take care of myself. I exercise. I make sure, I'm right.
She does.
So if I go on a date with somebody older, I need to be able to say, hey, let's go hiking, and he can go hiking. Okay. So that's one of my non-negotiables. I'm just saying. I need you to be able to keep up. But think about it though. Like Kimmy was talking the last time, you were saying one of your friends doesn't like older women because they don't take care of themselves, right?
Right. He does not. He said they do not. 50-year-olds do not. That's why he dates 30 and 20-year-olds.
CJ said Kim's speaking facts and she ain't even saying anything. Girl, CJ,
facial expressions.
What I'm saying, so that's important to me at this point because I don't want to sit in the house and eat bonbons. I'm sorry.
No.
Or watch TV the whole time. That because, as you were saying also, Felicia, things change as you get older. Even like when you first met your husband, the questions that you're asking, and it sounds like you guys are still learning each other, and that's what it is for a relationship to last and get better and stronger. You're supposed to still learn about each other, but people, to me, it's lazy nowadays. It is so lazy because no one really wants commitment. A lot of people, I'm not saying no one, a lot of people don't want commitment. They want to have sex and that's it.
Oh,
and
wow.
if that's what you just want, then you need to state that in the beginning. Some people are going to go for it and some people are not. We are not as honest about what we want because we think we're going to scare people off, and we probably are, just like the chick in the video. You scared enough men off, sis, by asking those questions, okay? It's not saying that you don't speak your mind and tell a man what you're looking for or what you want, but I think you also have to tell him to a point because he will become a representative. You'll be everything you want in a man. Mm-hmm. That's why when men ask me, what are you looking for? I don't really answer that question. I want to see your actions. Words and actions must add up and match. I was married for 20 freaking years and I can't do that again. Right. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I can't ignore those things that matter just because he's cute or I've had sex with him and now I'm attached to him because I had sex with him, but I'm disregarding every red flag.
But there's nothing wrong with that question, what you're looking for. Is it, Rabia?
To a point, you can answer that question. Yes. I'm not giving you everything because I've been in situations when I told the person and they became everything that I said. And in reality, they were not, because you cannot keep up that facade. You cannot, because your true nature is going to come out.
That's so true.
I think
so that's what I think.
I think that there is a place for questions. There is a place of learning about the person. There is nothing wrong with that. You don't have time to waste. There's certain things you need to know. Like, are you looking for a relationship? How many kids do you have? I mean, it's a place for all different types of questions that you should baseline know if you want to move forward. But when you start going into vulnerable spaces with people, like some of those questions are like, what happened in your childhood? That's a
Yeah,
vulnerable
way too
space
early.
for me.
Yeah,
That's
you
too
don't do that.
much.
You
You
don't
know,
do that.
but I think there are surface level questions that you need to know and answer before you take that relationship to the next level. Like, I'm not going to get that vulnerable with you on the first 5 dates. You know, I'm not going to tell you about how my mother treated me or how my father. I'm not going into that with you because I don't know if I even want to take our relationship to that point. But I
And he
do
must
think,
respect that.
yeah, but I do think there is a place. There are certain things that up front, like you said, we are adults that you need to know. Like, do you want more kids? Do you, like, do
Yeah,
you
that's
plan
true.
on living in an apartment for the rest of your life? Do you want to
Yeah,
own a home? There are things that you need to know. You
I will.
know,
I will tell you something. This sounds so bad. Should I tell you? Yes, I'm gonna be honest. So I was talking to an individual, right? No, I can't tell this one. I'm gonna look so terrible. Let me just
No,
read.
tell it. I want to know. I want to know.
I'll tell you off air. No. Keisha says he does not take care of himself. He doesn't need what he does need to take care of himself. Don't want him dying on top of me. Girl, bye. No under me. Jesus. CJ says, true grace, no cap. After the first date, I begin to reverse back to my regular self, laughing my ass off.
Dog, CJ.
You would.
That is facts.
See,
Like,
Avatar, yeah.
but then you have the guys that because if you do tell, and I do it on purpose. Like I tell them, I'll tell them something like completely just off the wall, and then they start lying like, oh, I can do this and I can do that. Watch this, and they don't do nothing. I'm like, okay.
CJ says, we already know you're terrible, Grace. You might as well tell us. Well, okay.
Might as well.
Tell y'all. Okay. So, first of all, I did not like his voice. I knew after I heard his voice, something was going to happen.
So,
What was wrong with it?
Hold on.
he's screwed off top. You don't like him. There you go.
Yes, but there's something you taught me, Brian.
No, I didn't.
No, something you taught me. Seriously, I listened to you when we talk.
You go. Don't finish your story.
Nah. So Brian always says that a woman will make exceptions for a man that she likes. Whatever rules she has in. Am I a good student, Brian? Let's just say yes because I am. I'm quoting you, guy. Okay. He said that a woman will only do things for a man that she likes. She will break all protocol if it's a man she likes. If she meets a man, she tells him I'm celibate. Probably means she's not attracted to him. Even if she is celibate, right?
celibate does not mean not attractive. She might actually be celibate.
No, but listen.
But she would break it easier for a man that she's lustful after than a man that she is not attracted to.
Exactly.
And will break certain rules for certain people. And you are absolutely right. He also mentioned that he's moving to Dallas and he has to break his lease. I was done.
Mm.
Wait, hold on. How many dates have y'all been on?
He never even made it to the first. What you mean?
Oh, so he was trying to break his lease and move to Dallas for you before date one?
And he's in his 50s. So I didn't ask.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
Have you owned a home before? Well, none of those things. I didn't ask that because on top his voice.
Right.
Ooh, I can't listen to this shit every day. Like I was like, no. Like I'm sorry. Like I'm talking about now. If you're arguing with something, you can start talking straight shit because his voice is already like got me like, oh.
What I see a lot of people that are dating, and I'm not talking about anybody on this call, but what I see a lot is people wasting time. It's like, I don't like this person. But this is like your 10th date. Well, I really don't like him. I'm just passing time. It's like, why? Yeah. Why we don't have time to pass and waste? Let's focus on somebody that you may be interested in. You know?
I was talking to one of my youth, and she's like, "Oh, I met this guy, and we went out on a date, but I really don't like him." And then we went on another date, and I really don't like him. And I was like, "Have you told him?" And she was like, "Yes, I told him. I don't like you this way. I just want to be friends. But he keeps inviting me on dates." I said, "That's because he likes you." And he's hoping you'll change your mind.
Right.
No, yes. And you keep going out on dates with him, you're leading him on, honey.
Yeah.
Right. So hold on. Look what Keisha said. Break his lease. How gross. He may as well have been homeless. Girl. Girl, I felt some type of way because as he was talking, and I don't know his story, and God knows I moved quick when I broke that connection. I ain't gonna lie, y'all.
Well, I mean, there could be several reasons why he's living in an apartment. I mean, I wouldn't have, but I would have did a little bit more investigating. Like,
The voice
But
got
just him trying to break a lease before first date, try to move for a female. Nah.
what's going on?
Yeah,
Oh, he was
that's the
just
real
moving
flag.
for you.
Like,
That was the only reason.
Yeah.
You were the reason.
yeah, it
No,
didn't
she didn't like his voice.
no, he wasn't gonna make it no way. And something else, y'all, that Brian taught me, because I've been talking to him about my dating life, and he said, "You know, you don't like that man. Don't go on a date with him." And that's it. And let me tell you, Brian is ruthless, but he is honest in his advice. And it may appear, Brian, that I don't listen, but honey, I do listen.
Yeah, but you can't. So all you have to do is reverse it. 9 times out of 10. Well, no, not 9 times. 10 times out of 10. Just reverse the situation, because humans, everybody on this call, we are inherently selfish until we learn to break ourselves out of it. And we have double standard. That's the reason why humans have double standards, because we're inherently selfish. We want things, we want to do things that we wouldn't have for ourselves if it was flipped. So, if let's just say a guy wanted to take you out and he talked to you once or twice, but he wasn't really interested in you, but you were very interested in him, and you kept trying to plug a date, or you wanted to take him out, bless you. You wanted to take him on a date and he wasn't interested, bless you again. And there's no way that you would want to keep putting your time and effort in pursuing someone who isn't interested in you. So it works vice versa. Like, why do women go on dates with guys they're not interested in them? And well, I mean, those are obvious questions, but I would hate to be going on dates or in a relationship with someone who's not totally into me, right? And someone who always looks at me and goes, meh, or tries to compare me with other guys that she truly lusts after and says that, or thinks in her head, that I'm not attractive enough, or she doesn't like me enough, or I wish he would act like this dude and that dude. Like, and especially if you're telling me things that are like with emotion, or giving me comments like, I really care for you, Brian, and I like you a lot, and I really want to be with you. But you're also thinking, man, I'm forcing myself to an extent to tell you this. I don't want to be with that person. Because the person I want to be with, the woman that I choose, I'm going to be totally attracted to her. And that doesn't necessarily mean all physical, right? It's going to be, hey, I'm attracted to you physically. I'm attracted to you emotionally. I'm spiritual, all that kind of stuff. And yes, you're not the finest thing on the planet, but you're so fine to me that I'm not fixing to mess with nothing else, right? Like, there's a level of fine that once you get it, you don't try to outdo it. And I've already talked about how men try to keep pumping the upgrade, right? They get a 9.7 and they go, well, maybe I can get a 9.9. Men do that on a constant basis. But once you get your level of fine or your level of attraction that is for you, then you need to just chill. But if you ain't attracted to me and you don't like me, we ain't going nowhere. So as soon as you tell me something like that, or I feel the vibe is off, I'm gonna make it plain. And if you don't share any type of, oh yeah, no, we done. I ain't got time.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Can I read some comments, and then I want to say something that you taught me as well. Y'all, let me tell you, Brian got some good stuff that he teaches. But anyway, CJ says, that's true, Brian. A woman will always break the rules for the man she truly wants. And I mean once. The dude she ain't feeling like that may have to put it way more effort than the guy she's been waiting on. That's the truth. Because if you don't like it, you ain't getting nowhere.
No. Look, I had to cut somebody out the other day for them to finally get it. I'm like, hey.
Sometimes it can be so freaking blunt. Like, so
I'm really a nice person, and I'm saying, I try to like it away and just like, maybe they'll get the picture that I'm not interested. Yeah. And then when they continue to be persistent, and then when they want to talk shit to you, let me show you the other side. Let me tell you about yourself.
But that should be how you are. I was ghosting people before it was such a term. I would just be like, no, I don't have time for that. And you would never hear from me again. I would avoid you like the plague. It's just, because I do not like playing with people's feelings, because I don't like being played with. But,
But you know what, Felicia, you don't even have to ask any of those, like, the self-love questions or the who a person is type of question. If a man is pursuing you after you plainly made it clear that you don't want to be with them or you don't want them pursuing you, if they've got 10 messages that you haven't replied to in your DMs, right? That tells you a lot about them. Number one, it should tell you that you ain't the only one he doing that to.
Yeah.
That's the first thing. So the penis, can you control your penis question? Hey, that lets you already know on top of that. And I ain't trying to give up game on dudes. It's just obvious stuff. But what I am saying is, like, men should not want a woman to feel obligated to do something in return according to what he's given up, paid for, or pursued prior to. You want to be in a relationship with a woman that as you freely give, she does too. And because dudes will throw that back up in your face. They'll I did this for you, I did that for you, I did that for you, and you
and you ain't that.
is bad.
Okay, let me read some more comments. Keisha says, Miss Kim/Deborah, ain't nothing wrong with a girl getting fed for free. Let her be great.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
CJ says, I also feel like some people are way too sensitive nowadays. It's like you want me to stop talking to every other girl just so you can feel special and vice versa.
Yes, if I like you.
Yes, CJ.
As a woman, they're talking to dating multiple people, but that's when you need to communicate that, and that's something else Brian told me as well. CJ says, my motto is, why are you worried about other girls when you need to try to be the best girl you can be? When you start trying to compare yourself to somebody else, you're already lowering your values, and that's something I learned even with us as men. And that's so true, because the reality is this. There is somebody out there smarter than you, prettier than you, got a fatter behind than you, all these things. And if you keep comparing yourself to another woman, you're going to go crazy.
Yeah.
Stay in your damn lane, sis. And guys, CJ says, then be the lamest ninjas, Brian.
And then they send you a peeny weenie pic, and you're like,
oh God, y'all need to stop, men. Please stop sending women penis pictures where you don't even say, hey, you don't know warning. I have children. I might have my phone open, and there is your little schlong. It is unimpressive, sir. It is unimpressive. Stop.
I did not believe that was a thing. Somebody told me that was a thing. I did not know that grown men sent those pictures.
They never spoke to you a day in your life. They sent. I got 3-4 this week now. I'm like, wow.
Do you remember the guy that passed away? Do you remember the guy that passed away? The one I asked you about a long time ago. He was a light-skinned guy. What was his name?
Me?
No, the guy that I told you about, the one that was a personal trainer and he got really, really sick and he passed away. You remember?
Oh, yeah. I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
Right. So one day I got a message from him on Facebook and it was a picture of his penis. So I text back, what? Why are you saying that? Yes.
Oh, you told me that.
Like, what are you doing? Oh, my bad. I didn't mean to send you that. And he sends me some other bullshit. Boy, I blocked his ass. Like, I was done. Because I'm like, that's disrespectful. Out of every conversation we had, why do you think that was okay?
Because it's worked before.
Because it works. But see, that's what the guys say, that it works. I'm like, there's no flipping way.
No. But Tonya, here's the thing. Once again, I've said this. I don't know if you were on the podcast, or I've said this before, but men don't give a damn about percentages, right? They will send a penis pic to 25 women, 50 women.
One bites.
Yeah, all they have to do is get one. They don't care if it's 2% success rate. If one bites, they go, oh, this works. And then they'll go to a whole nother 20, 25, 50 women and do it again. So out of 100 women, if you get 2, men think that's a really good success rate. So that's why they keep doing it.
Yo, I have to read this comment. CJ, I love you. Talk that talk. Then Keisha says this. She said, them penises be so itty bitty, you can't even tell if it's erect.
I don't know. For some reason, I get like the really big ones. I'm like, ew. No, thank you.
She says, Brian, it's not a penis pic, it's a dick.
Yeah, but I ain't finna look. Y'all get them. I don't know nothing about them. I don't send them. I don't get them. That ain't my stilo.
Put me in that.
I don't get them either,
don't even throw me in that. Yeah.
Well, my godfriend said that girls be doing the same thing, and I'd be like, "There's no way a female does that." And they're like, "Yeah." So at least 4 different guys have confirmed that females do it too.
To dudes that they know, to dudes that they know will react to it. I'm telling you right now, I have never gotten a random cooch pic, no puss pic, no nothing. You know why?
Why?
Because I will shut that down so fast, and they know it, right? Just out the blue by somebody I don't know. I'm not dating them. I'm not in a relationship, and I get a random coochie pic. I will tell you about yourself. That doesn't attract me. Because the first thing I'm thinking about is you sent that to me and 25 other dudes, and you waiting on one person to bite, and it ain't gonna be me. Slut till you.
And then she probably took that picture about 50 times to find the right angle.
Yeah. No, I don't give a damn about no right angle. You can take that slutting it somewhere else.
All right.
Somebody said it looks like a taco.
It looks like a what?
Look at Felicia. Felicia trying to get that angle.
They either stand up and do this, or they lay down and do this.
How you know?
They send the pictures to me. Oh, we're talking about. Oh, never mind.
Yeah, we're talking about the women doing it.
No. Oh, okay, never mind.
Yeah. No.
Oh my God. Keisha says girls do. My ex had tons of pussy pics, titty and ass pics. That's why he alone now. Nasty bastard. Then safe. Oh God. And then she says some of the ladies' profile pics. Yeah, there's some. Yeah. I mean, y'all. Yeah, it's bad.
That's sad.
It is sad, especially now with these older broads that are doing that. Come on, sis.
Yeah, but if you're dating, like, okay, let's just go back to you're actually dating. You've been dating for 3 months. You're asking the questions. Things are going good, and they send you that pic.
That's different.
Fine. Yeah.
That's different.
I'm not gonna lie. Once I start talking to someone, I send those random pics throughout the day.
That's different.
That's different now. You've established some kind of trust as well, okay? Because sometimes you have to have some type of trust, because one day you may look on Facebook and see your vagina and wonder, you understand?
Yes.
Hey, you have to be careful. And even you can even be married and then you get a divorce and then your ex will threaten you. Okay. That's why I don't trust people. Period.
Yeah. I don't send nothing that can be played on or blackmailed or something later. Yeah, you miss me with all that.
Yeah, because one of my friends she said, you never put your face in the picture.
No.
Never put your face. I don't trust people like that.
No, because then if you see yourself on Facebook, you know that's yourself, but no one else will know that's your stuff.
I got too many tattoos. They know it's me.
Yeah.
I'm like, take the picture if you want to.
Yeah.
I might be the next Kardashian.
Oh my God. Keisha says you're right about the old bros. All them damn coochies has gray hair. I told him that ain't me. Damn, Keisha.
So they don't even wax it before they send it?
I know, for real though. Like,
that's not cute. That's not cute.
Like, y'all, we need to do better.
Some stuff don't need to be photographed.
It's time to retire, sis. Yeah. What you doing? Okay, guys, we are at the end of the show. Any final thoughts?
Yes, I believe that every question is valid.
Yeah,
I do. I think they're valid, and I think it's okay to vet.
Right. Ask the questions that are important to you. Don't be shy about it, and don't wait 3 months down the road. Again, like y'all said, you want to, know these things before you waste all your time. So ask the questions you really want to know the answers to.
Keisha said, I found out he was into wolf monkeys.
I haven't heard that term so long. That's why I covered my mouth. I was like,
wolf monkeys.
Oh my God. Okay, Tonya, your final thoughts.
So I really think that I need to start asking a little bit more questions, maybe like more than just the generic ones that I ask, because now I'm starting to see that, I could probably avoid a lot of situations by asking more questions. So I'm going to write a list.
Yeah.
And I need some of y'all, like the older people, to say, I need Brian to send me some questions to ask.
I ain't old. What you talking about?
I feel like you know what I need to ask.
Yeah, what you talking about? She's talking about I need some of the older people. Brian,
experience.
How old do you think I look? No, we ain't got to answer that right now. We'll answer that off camera.
Brian can
What?
help you. Like, honestly, guys, Brian, and I know I don't give you enough credit, but you have helped me tremendously.
Yeah, at $129.99 per session.
Whatever. Like, I told Brian something this week that I thought I had a particular issue. That Negro broke that shit down so quick. I was like, oh, you're right. I don't have a problem. I just was triggered. Okay.
Yeah, you were. You were tripping for real.
Like, I could have paid $125 to go to therapy. That man broke it down in 5 minutes. I said, God.
And where I sent you an invoice, where's my bread?
No.
I was like, oh, he's a therapist too. I was like,
Kinda, basically.
No, first of all, you're my friend, so you're gonna help me. That's what we do.
I was like, well, I mean, if I get a discount, like
I got you. I got you on the discount.
No, he really, really helped me. Like, I was really tripping because I was emotional when I told him about that, and then I was like, "Oh, you dumbass! You're right. You're
That
right."
was the first problem. You do emotion, leading with your emotions rather than your logic.
Anyway, what's your final thoughts? I don't listen to that no more.
My final thoughts is what everybody just said. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree, and I think that Kim, I agree with you. We should be able to ask questions, but I think we also should use wisdom on knowing at what stages we should ask specific questions, because we will run people off asking those deep questions. I was the person that on the first date I would word vomit because I needed you to know exactly what it was, and I learned over time. Like, girl, don't do that shit. No, give people a room to breathe and grow in it. If it's meant to be, it's gonna freaking work out. If not, you just another notch in my belt, or you just another lesson. Because the truth is, and when I say notch, I'm not talking about having sex now. Let's be for real. I'm saying a lesson. Every person you meet is a lesson, whether it's a good lesson or bad lesson, but they are a lesson. Because nobody breaks us, okay? They do not. They break our expectations. But anyway, guys, I enjoyed you guys, and I will see you all next week. Bye, everyone.
bye.